Hey Fandom, it's me, Aaron.
And I'm Cap from Nerdy Show.
And this is a comic show, New Comics Now. We're talking about comics together, because why not? It's a new year, we could try something different.
Comics are best shared together.
I love comics.
We both love comics. Let's talk about comics.
All right, Marvel, DC, independent stuff. We got creator-owned, we have franchise stuff. Let's start with Guardians of the Galaxy.
All right. Guardians of the Galaxy. This is like an all gal pal issue with Gamora and Angela.
Yes, and we don't get that often. You get all the buddy, guy buddy stuff in TV and movies and comics, and this is fun. Like Gamora, like your argument, our complaint before is that she wasn't getting much screen time, and what she did get, she seemed kind of weaker than her past interpretations.
It was weird.
And this, she was freaking hardcore.
Yeah, and two ladies being hardcore together.
And she's been hardcore ever since Angela's been introduced to this, so she's a great introduction, a great addition to the team. And Rocket Raccoon's still in it. And yes. Kevin Maguire on art. Thank you, Bendis, for saving Kevin Maguire from artist limbo or whatever when DC fired him off that Justice League 3000 book. Lots of great facial expressions here. Lots of great reasons to have him on this book, and next issue is that trial of Jean Grey. So
not only is it one of the best single issues of the run so far, it's definitely the best looking single issue of the run.
It's perfect.
No doubt.
Yeah. Moving on. New Avengers. This is Inhumanity. This is the fallout of Infinity, and it syncs straight up to the first issue, like verbatim, like word for word. It's Reed talking. But then you see, you know, this is not a spoiler. This will be in the preview pages. But you'll see that it's not our 616, you know, where Cap and I live and you live. It's an alternate world where things are different. Like Black Panther is White Panther. What?
Crazy.
I mean, he's still black, but he's just called White Panther. And
for me, the most important thing about this story is that the Incursion storyline has been interesting, but not particularly like action-packed or exactly meaningful yet. And this really brings it all together. This adds some real conflict to the Incursion thing. We really feel like that story is going somewhere now.
Yeah, so, and why not? It's time.
It is time.
You know, Infinity's over. So I like the book. I like Hickman. I like all that stuff.
Superior Foes of Spider-Man. This is a kick-ass standalone issue. We find out all about Beetle, finally. The female Beetle who's been in the book since the beginning, who we know nothing about. Turns out she's...
We know she hung out at comic book stores.
That's true. Yeah. She's pretty cool. Right. Turns out she's a blood relation to a certain known villain of the Marvel Universe, and this is her backstory, and it's great. This could be the first book you read in the series if you want, and you could get into a brand new character who's... Right. I mean, if there was ever a Beetle that was going to stick around, it's probably going to be this one now.
Right. And this could be the first and last issue if you so choose, you know. Yeah. It's, you know, it's a standalone issue. So if you're not completely sold, at least you got a single issue story. That's cool. And I like it. I like Spencer. I like the artist. He sent us a postcard that one time. It's pretty cool with Beetle on it.
Yeah.
And great book. Love it. Love that they have such a good villain book. It's kind of like... Criminal or Incognito or whatnot, you know, but in, like, yeah, Spencer basically just totally ripped off Brubaker, but I like it. So, moving on.
Now on to Detective Comics.
No. Oh, DC. Okay, Aquaman. This is the first issue of Jeff Parker's run on Aquaman because, you know, Jeff Johns likes to pick Jeffs to follow him, like Lemire on Justice League and whatnot. So anyway, it's aptly titled Pressure. I mean, I don't know if you noticed that's the title of the book. The issue is Pressure, which there's a lot of pressure on Jeff Parker.
Yeah,
so
he has to make people still care about Aquaman.
Right,
so
because
it's rough.
People cared more about Jeff Johns on Aquaman than they did on Aquaman. But I always make the argument that if Jeff Johns did his job, he made you love the character. So yes, you have Aquaman flying in the stratosphere. Take that, Superman, you know, up and away. And you got Mira specifically referenced as his consort instead of wife. So Dan Adio got a big win there. And you know, it was a fun issue as setting up stuff. It's just setting up stuff and setting up stuff cool. You know, Aquaman's all tripping out and trying to talk to this crazy beast
of Kraken kind of creature, and he's trying to communicate with it, and he just has this telepathic fit trying to talk to that thing's brain.
Yeah, it looked like he was on LSD.
But, you know, like, Parker is great. If you read Agents of Atlas over at Marvel, this would be a book you should definitely check out, because, I mean, like, the other team that spins out of Aquaman, they're basically the closest thing DC has to Agents of Atlas right now. And
sure,
if they show up, if they show up again, in the New 52, right. If they show up again, it'll be cool.
Yeah, and I like this issue, and reading the solicitations, I know it's going to be crossing with Swamp Thing, so That's cool.
That is cool.
Right. Moving on to Swamp Thing's writer, Charles Soule, on Red Lanterns, Guy Gardner, my favorite Green Lantern, my favorite Ring Barrow, and this is the most improved New 52 book of last year, easily.
I think it's the most improved New 52 book ever.
Right, and Soule is one of the writers to watch in 2014, including, according to Newsarama, which obviously he should have been the writer to watch that they put for 2013 because you look what he did in 2013.
Right.
It's like hindsight is 2020 on this next Newsarama article. But anyway, we're on Bleeding Cool, so we talk about the future, whether it's true or not.
And Red Lanterns, it's all about cleaning up the mess that was the book before and doing it in a way that feels organic and is only kind of like a wink to anybody who put up with it for a while before. They got the Red Lantern Oath. They say, nah, screw that mess, new Red Lantern Oath, and it's perfect. It's classic Guy Gardner in a whole new setting.
You notice they made fun of her wings, too?
Yes, they made fun of Bleeze's wings.
Yes.
Charles Soule told us a few months back at Heroes Con that maybe she's going to get a costume change, and I really hope that happens because she looks way too much like Morgan from Darkstalkers. That's always been a pet peeve of mine.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, and we got a little bit of foreshadowing. They're into 814. We get a little bit of foreshadowing of how a Red Lantern could lose their ring without St. Walker, without necessarily dying. And as you guys know, if you read the solicitations of future stuff, Red Daughter in the Red Sun font, Supergirl is going to get a Red Lantern ring. So, you know, obviously it's going to be awesome, and they're not going to kill her. There's some
new rules to play with, and it's the Red Lantern universe is an exciting place to be.
So if you look at this Justice League Dark, yes, Blight is cumbersome. It's 4 issues a month, but it's really like Ray Fox and DeMatteis together. You know, they're 2 books in the Dark. So I like the idea that the Dark's unified. It's a unified corner of the universe. I like the idea that it's crossing over with Forever Evil because it's dark and evil is dark. I like all that. As far as the what?
No, you're right. Dark is evil, evil is dark. Carry on.
And people complain when things don't cross over, and they complain that it's not a cohesive universe.
Right.
But it is kind of, you know, you're getting 4 parts a month. It's a lot. And having said that, the Sea King, they did a little twist with him that was pretty cool as far as one of their characters. I don't necessarily want to spoil it. I don't remember what's spoiled in the solicitations, but I don't want to spoil it. But the Sea King becomes integral to the team, and I like that it plays up a lot of that underwater sea mystical magical stuff, like the old like Orion, not Orion, and Atlantis Chronicles, all the magical elements of Atlantis and sea stuff, and you know, dark magic and whatnot. So it was a cool issue. You guys know I love Justice League Dark, but I do agree that it's a lot of story for just this. It seems a little padded for sure.
It is. I'm really exhausted with Forever Evil already. I've been enjoying it up to this point, but I'm ready for it to be over, and it's not over yet. So hopefully it'll get
I'm
some
not ready
fire
for it
back.
to be over. I'm ready for Bruce Wayne and Lex Luthor to have to team up and say, you know what, we can get a lot more accomplished without Superman. You know, when we're fighting superpowered characters, wow, we could be like the best ever. You know, we're the actual, you know, world's finest, Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne.
The main book is fine. I'm really more talking about the event at large.
Right. I was just trying to pull that out of you.
Sure.
All right. Damian, Son of the Bat. This was fun. It's you know, you either like Andy Kubert's art or not. I like it. It doesn't have Grant Morrison writing it, so that's a big jarring thing to some people.
Yeah, and I actually gave it up after the first issue. I couldn't stand it. So, but then Aaron's flipping through this. He shows me some stuff in it that seems pretty crazy. I'm actually really curious now.
Yeah, my thing is it's such a small story, such a finite story of Damian putting on that 6'6" Batman costume and becoming Batman and why. And within those confines of that small story, with it was fun. I can deal with it. I'm not like jumping up and down saying, you must read this. But it's fun. It's not what Damian fans want. Damian fans, by and large, want Damian back in the DC universe. But
yeah, and I would love Damian not to be dead, but I think it's a better story that he's dead, even though I love him.
All right, moving on to Superman Unchained. I'm going to be talking about that instead of Cat because he also stopped reading that.
With this issue, I did stick with it for a while, Scott. I still love you.
I love Scott Snyder, and I like the Supermans that are much more intricate, much more thinking, lots and lots of stuff like the anti-Lobdell, you know? Like, no one's talking about orgasming mangoes in this run, but...
that happened? Ew.
Anyway, I like this issue. This issue, all of these themes started to just come to fruition. All the themes of like the 1938, this guy that was essentially the idea of Superman, of the people that want Superman to be the American way. He crashed in 1938. He made the world what it is now. Like if there really was a Superman with that technology and the government had it, and he was for country, that's why we have iPhones now. That's why we had this huge advancement in technology, because a Superman, the Wraith guy, crashed in 1938 and gave us this technology because he thought that he crashed in this country to make this country great, because this country is a great nation, the best on earth, and you know, this all of that. I like the flashback, the Dustin Wynn. That was fun stuff. I like this issue, and I like that Wraither, he asked Clark, he said, how do you know that Jor-El didn't pick America for you to land in, not just because you look tall, dark, and handsome, like, you know, like the perfect actor for Hollywood? How do you know he didn't pick America for you to land in because it's the home of the free and the land of the brave and the whopper and all that, and that you were supposed to use these great powers with great responsibility to make America a great nation and screw everybody else? You know, and, you know, become an atomic bomb that drops, like, you know. I liked it. I liked this issue a lot.
That's really intriguing stuff.
Right.
So
there's that. And it's Jim Lee.
I screwed up.
It's Jim Lee. So anyway, and if you like Scott Snyder and you want to try some creator-owned stuff, because unlike Geoff Johns, Scott Snyder also does creator-owned stuff. So he does American Vampire, and we have the first issue for free here. It's $1 first issue, and it's cool. American Vampire. Like, in America, there's different rules for vampires. There's a different breed of vampires. They're not like the hide in the castle vampires. They're more like the Old West vampires. You know, they don't sparkle, but they can be in sunlight. So, moving on. And they kind of eat people with, you know, they take big chunks with blood. So, Cappy's favorite book of the week.
This is my pick of the week, totally. I had lots of reservations. I like J. Michael Straczynski's work most of the time, but I was like, I don't know if Twilight Zone comic's going to work. Oh man, it works. It really works. This is, I guess it's a multi-issue storylines. Feels really good in an issue form, though, and you can see that Straczynski's television writing chops really shine through in this kind of a story. It feels like classic Twilight Zone, but it's modern. Right.
It has the trappings that, you know, somewhat nostalgia, but it's a modern story. So it's like Kenneth Lay is essentially the protagonist. It's like financial meltdown type of crazy stuff, and be careful what you wish for, and nuttiness, and I liked it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's got a really just good vibe to it. If you like Twilight Zone-like stuff, or if you're reading X-Files Season 10, pick up this book.
Right on. This book, Legenderry with 2 R's. When I first heard about it, and it was like a steampunk adventure where all the different type of public domain or franchise characters that Dynamite has are all in a steampunk universe together. I'm talking like Vampirella, Red Sonja, Green Hornet, the Phantom, who else? Flash Gordon. Like, all these guys are in the same universe. So, like, well, that seems kind of like pandering to steampunk and throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks. Yeah. And then I saw Bill Willingham's name on it. And Bill Willingham, as you all know, does Fables. He's a world builder, and that got my interest.
Yeah, I had the same reaction. It does seem like, at base, like a really ham-fisted idea, but the fact that Willingham was doing it really turned my head.
And we got the Phantom variant cover here at a comic shop because we're a Phantom store. But warning, the first issue, there's only 3 of those characters together. There's only the Red Sonja character-ish, the Vampirella character, which was cool, which I don't necessarily, I'm not a Vampirella fan, but I liked her in this.
What she did in this issue was cool.
Yeah, and Green Hornet, who I really liked him in this. I like his arrogance.
Yeah, it has a very soft start. If it wasn't Willingham writing it, I don't think I'd be sticking around past the first issue, just because I read a lot of comics, but I'm very curious to see what it does become, especially once all the characters are in play. I think that's really where the book could shine.
Right.
So hopefully
to me,
it will.
There should have been like a little teaser of a couple other characters, like a jungle, and it's like, oh, here's like Phantom and Tarzan playing cards or something, you know, like, you know, some kind of thing.
That would be awesome.
But I know what's coming from reading the premise, the solicitation, how we were sold on the book to get the Phantom variant. So what's coming sounds awesome, and the first issue was good. I mean, it wasn't bad. It was good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Another Phantom cover, Phantom book. This is a Phantom exclusive. Phantom First Friday. We got Escape from Jesus Island on.
Wait, so like no other stores that aren't Phantom. This is a real question. I didn't know this. So you guys are getting this book before anybody else. That's cool.
Yeah, and we have our own cover too. And essentially, it's like Jurassic Park meets Jesus. It's like, what if they cloned Jesus on an island from like the Shroud of Turin or whatnot? And so you have this whole island of clone Jesus, and a lot of like first attempts of clone Jesus that are all terrible. And it's a horror story, which you guys know I'm not a big horror fan. I cannot watch horror movies. They just scare me. I can dig horror comics because they're not real people. Then I can close the book and no one laughs at me. But when I watch horror with someone else and I have to leave the room or push pause, everyone makes fun of me. But Clive Barker gave it a great review, and if you like sacrilegious stuff with the F word and kids being killed and making fun of animal rights activists and anything else offensive that could possibly be between two covers.
Yeah. If you're a cross reader, you'll probably like this book a lot.
Hey, yeah. Check it out. Dead Boy Detectives. Kat brought up to me that this is a very rare thing in Vertigo. It's not mature reader.
It's all ages.
No, it's not.
Okay,
it's
teen.
Rated teen.
Teen. But really, I mean, I don't know.
It depends on the parent whether they feel a teen book is appropriate for their preteen or whatever.
If your child likes spooky adventures, like if your child reads Beast of Burden or something,
yes,
then this will be lighter than Beast of Burden.
And you can read this without having read any of the other Dead Boy stuff. It comes from the pages of Sandman, which is a plus, but you don't have to have read them in Sandman. You don't have to have read their other solo adventures.
Yeah, it doesn't lean on any continuity so far anyway.
And it introduced a new female character for them.
Yeah, if you like, say, characters like spooky goth girls like Lydia from Beetlejuice, you're gonna want to check out Dead Boy Detectives.
Yes, I like it. I like that Vertigo is doing stuff. I like that it's kind of new things that are like not regimented. Like, hey, we want to do Dead Boy Detectives, but we don't see the reason why it has to be a mature reader. It's like, okay, cool, do it.
Yeah.
You know, why not? It doesn't have to be a Minx title or whatever. You know, come on, it's Vertigo. Manhattan Projects, we're not going to say much. I just wanted to wear my science bad shirt for, I'm anti-atheist. Science is bad, You know how many people science has killed, like more than religion this century.
Debatable, man.
This century.
This century. Also debatable.
I don't feel like having that debate. What I do feel like saying is Manhattan Project is awesome, and if you wanted to see...
Yeah, if you want to see Albert Einstein play with some monster turds,
some
check
like
it
alien monster poop, and he's just, playing it with like silly putty.
And the monster's really funny too.
And last but not least, we have The Star Wars, the original draft of Lucasfilm with Lucas on the cover, with Lucas as the main character. He's Lucas Skywalker, I think, General Lucas Skywalker.
It's a very self-indulgent, just George-centric book. It's cool though. It's a neat artifact. I mean, it's not as like hard-hitting and action-packed as Brian with Star Wars, but what's cool about this issue is it's an issue 0 and it's a behind-the-scenes issue that shows the whole sketch process, building the characters up from what designs that predated the final designs for Star Wars were.
And that's neat because we've all seen the final designs. I mean, they're iconic. And we've all seen the original designs on those few things. And this is like building that world from those few designs, but not encroaching on the trilogy or the trilogy.
Yeah. A lot of work went into creating the look of this book, so this is a really cool feature. And also it comes with the pages that they gave George Lucas to sell him on the idea to begin with.
Yeah, artist Scott Collins drew pitch pages, and they're in here. And yes, there's Wookiees on Indoor on these pitch pages.
Yeah, you get some previews of things to come.
That's neat.
It's pretty cool.
And, I like that it's a 0 issue halfway through the run because now we care. Now we're fully invested. If you're getting this, you care. You're interested in how they came up with this because you like it. If this 0 issue came first,
whatever.
Why isn't it free? But, you're trying to sell me something.
So it's awesome.
Yes. And that's our video. I hope you like it. Give us some feedback, and that's it. Thanks. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Click subscribe, share, comment, like. Seriously, comment on this stuff. Tell us what we're doing wrong.
Yeah.
I know we're screwing up all over the place. And if you're local, we got trivia on Tuesday. Wednesday is New Year's Day, so we're not doing anything. Thursday is indie video game stuff. It's a really cool thing. Friday's karaoke, and Saturday is Street Pass. It'll be chiptunes and Street Passing and all your nerdy video game needs.
Yeah, and subscribe to Nerdy Show's YouTube channel. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Check out all of our podcasts. And this week, we just published our top 20 nerdy things of 2013. We take all of pop culture, science, technology, world events, mash it all up, and try to judge them all, even though they're completely different. So check that out at nerdyshow.com.
Bye-bye.
Bye.